Paleolithic era, this is the beginning of mankind's existence as we know them today. We sometimes refer to this as the Old Stone Age, goes back over 400,000 years ago. 96 to 97% of our existence is really confined to this period. It's composed of humans living as hunters, gatherers, and nomads. They're hunting wildlife, they're gathering natural vegetation, nuts, berries, mushrooms. They're hunting everything from deer to birds to fish. And they're migrating as the seasons are changing and as the animal herds are also migrating, they're following them. There's no farming during this period, there's no domestication of animals, and there's definitely no writing. However, around 12,000 BC, some major changes are going to take place. During this period, what's happening is the Ice Age is coming to an end, and therefore the landscape and the climate improves. People continue to migrate, but they're noticing these changes, and these changes are going to bring us into what we call the Neolithic period, or the New Stone Age. This is defined by the development of farming. At the beginning, it's going to be subsistence farming. What that means is just enough to feed the person in the family. In addition, we also have the domestication of animals, which is linked to this, as are settlements. Okay? People are farming more than likely developed by accident. As people brought natural vegetation with them, they realized that in a new environment, this natural vegetation was able to grow bigger, better in terms of its taste, probably safer. The domestication of animals also followed a similar route. These were wild animals that became more attached in greater proximity to humans now that they're settled, and over time, humans incorporated them into their environment, kept them as pets, as companions, or as protectors, and eventually even as muscle power for their farms. Around 5000 BC, we have another major change that takes place, but it takes place within the Neolithic period. So in a way, you can break down the Neolithic period into two, the subsistence part and the surplus part. Here we have surplus farming. This means that people are able to farm more than just feeding the immediate family. What that translates to is, of course, a society that becomes bigger and more complex. This is, of course, caused by the usage of animal labor, such as the horse, the ox. There's also better farming techniques, better irrigation systems. They're able to divert the water further out, allowing for more agricultural output to grow, better farm tools, fertilizer in a primitive form, of course, and also calendars, primitive methods of telling time, but also very important in being able to determine the right time to farm and the right time to harvest. This change, of course, leads to a greater, more complex society and sets forward in motion the events that bring us into the rise of civilizations. So that concludes our lesson on the Neolithic and Paleolithic periods.